So with the NBA season quickly approaching, we have a couple of weeks left before the Christmas week matchups start up and the official start of the NBA season starts. I wanted to bring attention to who I believe will potentially be our league MVPs by the end of all of it. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Whew, that shit good. What's good with you guys? It's your boy T. And you see how I did that? You see how I did that? TGU! Woo! And we back again with another video. So it's been a couple of days since I've been here. Last time I put a certain someone on notice. Yeah, you know who you are. Listen, like I said, you may never see that video, but just in case you do, and just in case you follow up and you see this video, I'm on to you, Giannis. You know what you want to do. It might not be this year, but down the line, you know who your point guard is. You know. But anyways, off of Giannis. Probably will bring him back up once, maybe a couple of times throughout this video. But I want to talk today about who the potential MVP frontrunners are going to be this season. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the Lakers, and it's rightfully so. They have two top 5 players on their team, one being LeBron and the other being Anthony Davis. You can't argue that they're both top players in this league. They've proven it throughout last season, and time again they've been having consistently dominant seasons in their careers. So, for me personally, I want to bring attention to a couple of lesser ideas in terms of MVPs first, and then we'll move on to more of the more popular opinion in terms of who the MVPs will probably be. So, for starters, I got my eyes on CP3. Now, you're probably like, what the fuck are you smoking? You smoking that loud pack. You're smoking that big baller brand pack. You're smoking that LeVar Ball pack. You're smoking that Lonzo pack. You're smoking that MJ crying meme pack. And I gotta say, I'm 100% serious. I'm dead ass. I think Chris Paul might actually win MVP this season. It strongly depends on how the Phoenix Suns do with him being added as potentially a leader of that team. Like, you may see Chris Paul go to the Phoenix Suns and make him into a super team. That's a hot take if you ever heard one, right? I bet you wasn't thinking like that. I opened your eyes, didn't I? Listen, man, Ricky Rubio was cool and all, but Chris Paul is a different type of point guard. He's shown he can carry young talent very consistently. Chris Paul with Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, that's a scary threesome right there. No Pornhub. Yee! But yeah. Watch out for Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns this season. I feel like they're going to be very motivated after going undefeated in the bubble. I feel like they gave them wings. I feel like they gave them a lot of confidence and motivation to, like, they beat some top teams in the bubble. It's not like they beat. They had an 8-0 record. What was it? 8-0 record against 8 scrub teams. They had an 8-0 record against teams that were allowed into the bubble because they had great record, or they had pretty good records to the point they were in playoff contention. And they went 8-0. They were the only team to go undefeated in the bubble. Your champion, the Lakers, they didn't go undefeated in the bubble. They lost. At least the Phoenix Suns can say, in the bubble, we never lost. We never dropped a game. We beat everybody. Even the overhyped Clippers, we beat them. Devin Booker put nuts in both of those guys' faces. Remember, you guys seen the shot? He was high up in there. Ah, splash. Devin Booker time, baby. What Drake say? Wet like I'm booked. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that man's was wet. You're wet like water. Wait, hold on. Pause. Because when I said wet, I know at least two of you were thinking weird like that. I'm not on that type of energy. I'm not on that time. But hey, it is what it is. If you on that time, kudos to you. That's all you, Chief. It's not me. Appreciate you though. But yeah. Again, just watch out for CP3. I feel like if he holds on, if he even improves his numbers even a little bit while carrying the Suns to a very good record in the West, potentially a top 5 finish. When the Suns missed the playoffs this last season and they haven't been a playoff team in the last couple of seasons, Chris Paul might win MVP, man. It was different when the Thunder, because the Thunder had already been a consistent like top 8 team. They were somewhere in that top 6 range for years. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different for the Suns. The Suns have been, for the last decade or so, like pretty mediocre to decent, but have never really broke that playoff record or playoff barrier to be in the playoffs and have an actual shot at something. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this team right now, they're hungry. They play like they're hungry. They want to get into the playoffs. They want to try their hand at a chip. And I feel like Chris Paul himself is hungry to get that chip, and he will work their asses off to get there. And I feel like that's something that people have to watch out for. So we're on 6 minutes already. I want to move on. The next sleeper, I feel like, and this might not even be a sleeper. I feel like this is more of a pickup that someone could think about and like have the whole room agree with them in an instant. I'd see Luka Doncic. I see him getting that MVP. Now, potentially, right? Potentially. We always have to say the potentially part because I don't want to give my actual prediction. These is just These is the top couple of picks that I feel like are the main front runners for MVP this upcoming season if they play even a bit like they've been playing. So Luka Doncic, he's shown rapid successive growth throughout the last couple of seasons he's been in the NBA. He went from just a wild, sensational rookie, and in his sophomore campaign, he was absolutely amazing. He almost single-handedly took out the Clippers in the playoffs. We don't want to forget that. Like, honestly, if Kristaps Porzingis, if he didn't go down, who's to say the Mavs wasn't winning that series? Like, Clippers was looking shaky in that series. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not to be like, just kind of brushed under the rug or something. So Luka Doncic, I feel like is definitely a top pick to be an MVP candidate. If you're not thinking about Luka Doncic as a potential MVP candidate, you're just asleep. You're probably still in dreamland. I'm gonna snap my fingers 3 times. Hopefully you wake up. You awake? You awake now? All right. You know what I'm saying? Take your head off the pillow. It's time to wake up. It's time to rise and shine. You know what I'm saying? The sun is up. It's not down. It's not time to go to bed. It's time to wake up. You know what I'm saying? So Luka Doncic, keep an eye on him. Those are my 2 dark horse in a sense picks. Chris Paul, which I feel like a lot of people are not expecting that. A lot. So listen, if you see Chris Paul somehow squeak out like I'm talking like when you have the smallest of gaps to squeeze through, if we see Chris Paul squeeze through this little gap and somehow squeak out that MVP, you come back to this video, you give this video a fucking like, and you subscribe, and you just worship me because I'm literally a god for predicting that. Like no one's looking at CP3. like that. No one's looking at him like he is going to be an MVP candidate. But I have that. I have faith in CP3. I see his worth. I've seen his worth for the last couple of years, and I know he can do that. And if the Suns have a pretty good finish in the West this season, you may see Chris Paul win regular season MVP. It depends on how he plays. Again, he might have to elevate his game even a little bit more, but we'll see what happens. So those are my 2 dark horse picks. On to my 5 main picks for front runners for the MVP. For starters, we'll start off with a little bit of a light touch. LeBron James. Now, you're probably thinking you are absolutely smoking the biggest crack pipe you have ever smoked in life. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not smoking anything. I do be smoking weed though. I cannot lie. That Pineapple Express, man, that lemon cherry, man, that shit do be killing me. But I will say this. When it comes to LeBron James, I feel like he's more in a supportive role right now than he is in an MVP takeover mode. I feel like he's very comfortable in that role, and he's very comfortable of just handing off the keys to AD and letting the Lakers be AD's team. So I feel like LeBron, he has the potential like every year to win MVP. No question about it. LeBron's a freak of nature. He's a freak athlete. He knows how to, go and dominate a game if he needs to. But I feel like he's very comfortable in letting AD, and he knows he can allow AD to grow and be that leader of the team. So he's going to let that happen. But yeah, don't sleep on LeBron. He might go ahead and just finesse his MVP. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's going to be one of those years that's like LeBron's just going to let AD just keep flourishing, because AD kind of blossomed in the playoffs. He became more of a beast than I actually gave him credit for. You know what I'm saying? I knew AD was a beast. Trust me. But the way he was dominant as like a dominant force in the playoffs, like he was, is respectable. So LeBron, number 5. Going on to number 4, and this might shock some peoples. At number 4, I got Kevin Durant. Now, for Kevin Durant's sake, it's something like this. This man's coming off of injury. The Nets, I think for the last 2 seasons, they've been in the playoffs, or barely missed the playoffs, but they haven't been a team that is by any means like bad or like super mediocre. Like, they're a pretty decent team. They just can't really get over the hump. They're getting bounced consistently in like the first round. So, and they haven't really been good since that big 3 that they tried to form in Brooklyn a couple years back. So it's just one of those things where now they have a serious shot of even taking the East completely and making their way to the finals. And honestly, if KD is the front runner of that team, if he's the guy leading and scoring in that team, he's the guy elevating them to a whole nother level and just completely taking over, and it's not Kyrie, KD is going to win MVP. I'm saying it right now. If that happens for the Nets, KD is winning MVP. If the Nets get first in the East by a convincing amount, not just by like, oh, they beat out the Bucks or the Raptors by like 2 or 3 different games. No. If they win the East by a solid amount, KD is going to win MVP. I'm making that a point now. Now, actually, I'm going to move on. I'm making this video a little long by long-winded explanations for every single person. But just know that KD is my number 4 pick. At number 3, we have Steph and Curry. Now, As much as this hurts me personally, because I'm a big ass Steph Curry fanboy. I love me some Steph Curry. No homo. Pause. Complete non-sus on that. Do not vote me out the airlock. I am not the imposter. But yeah, Steph Curry is definitely one of those superstars that I am just completely like pulled to. You know what I'm saying? Like his play style, his personality, everything about this guy is something that I enjoy watching, right? And so when it comes to when it comes to Steph Curry, I feel like this season is the season where he'll get back to being the primary option. He'll come back to being that main guy. And because of that, I feel like if we see the Warriors get into an explosive year after being dead, like this is no exaggeration. The Warriors were dead last in the entire league, not just in the West. In the entire NBA, the Warriors were dead last. So, if the Warriors can somehow squeeze out a top 5 finish in the West, when people are only expecting them to just barely make the playoffs at like 7 or 8 seed, or maybe even 6, if they can somehow squeeze out a top 5 finish in the West, and Steph Curry has another MVP caliber year, this is going to be another year for Steph Curry to win MVP, and he will win his 3rd MVP. Now, will it be unanimous? I don't think so. This season is crazy coming into it. Like, there are a lot of MVP candidates, and I'm looking forward to this season because of it. And I feel like Steph is definitely in line to win his 3rd MVP if he plays even remotely on the same level as he did in 15-16 season. Like, let's be honest. So that's Steph. I put him at 3. At number 2, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, why do I have Giannis at 2? Well, I have Giannis at 2 because Giannis, to me, I feel like he could have made a move to be on a better team, right? But he's reluctantly holding back on signing that supermax, and because of that, it becomes a situation of, okay, is Giannis making the move to better himself and move into a different team, or is he going to stay on the Bucks, hold it down with Drew Holiday and co, and try to get the Bucks back to first in the East? Honestly, if the Bucks regain first in the East after the Nets and everything else in this season, I have this to say. Like, Giannis, if you win your 3rd MVP in a row, it's gonna be different, man. It's gonna definitely be different. But yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo 2nd. I mean, I always have Giannis at like a top 3 MVP candidate for regular season. I mean, again, for me, Giannis, you got to show me in the playoffs. At this point, you've been in the playoffs like the last like 4 seasons, and it's just not, it hasn't worked out yet, bro. So it's just a thing of that. So Giannis at 2. And finally, coming on the 20-minute mark, we have the final entry in this list. And if you can't guess who this is, I don't know. You might be asleep still. I ain't snapping my fingers no more though. I'm just gonna kick your ass. I'm probably just gonna body slam you. I'm gonna get on the top rope and do like a fucking 450 splash and your shit and wake your ass up that way. But to be honest and to be serious for a second, our number 1 pick for me in terms of the front runners for MVP this upcoming season will be Anthony Davis. Now, the reason I feel like AD is going to be MVP, he is feeding off of this championship win. He's feeding off of his new role as the Lakers' like top guy in terms of being that guy who's leading in every category. And honestly, if he leads the way for the Lakers to be the top guy, now this might be a stretch because it might be harder for AD actually to win the title being paired with or the title of MVP, right? Being paired with LeBron James and being on such a strong team like the Lakers, which people are kind of boasting as maybe even being a super team, honestly. So it's kind of hard for AD to separate himself. But if he's able to, if at any degree, he will win his MVP, his first MVP. Anthony Davis will win his first MVP in his NBA career. And I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, man, we've been here for 20 minutes. I'm going to let you guys go. Those are my thoughts. I'm going to just run back through them real quick. No explanation, just what I said and what I picked. I got Chris Paul and Luka Doncic as my dark horse picks. They're going to be the ones that I feel like are going to be the sleeper picks in terms of MVP candidates. They can probably squeeze it out and steal it from the other cast of people that I just said before. But those are my two sleeper dark horse picks. Number 5, I got LeBron. Number 4, I got KD. Number 3, I got Steph. Number 2, I got Giannis. And at number 1, I got Anthony Davis. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave your boy a like. And if you want to see more, well, I don't know what to tell you, but just stay tuned, motherfucker, because I'm going to come back. And if you ain't here watching, you missing out on the show, because it's been your boy, T.G. And I'm out this bitch. Woo!